Gosh, how time flies. Here we are, week number 8 for Dana White's Contender series. I feel like we just started this season a couple of days ago, not weeks ago, not 8 weeks ago. Here we are, week number 8. 8 weeks, that's like 2 months, guys. We're flying through this stuff. But here we are, welterweight division, an interesting matchup, if I do say so myself. We have Jacobe Smith taking on Christien Savoie, I think is how you say that. I think that's what I heard a commentator pronounce it accurately, but maybe not. I don't know. So we're going to go with Savoie for that, okay? He's 3-1-1 in Savoie, and in his last 5, and 5-0 in the last 5 for Smith. Smith is undefeated at 8-0. There is a 10-1 and a draw for Savoie, but the problem with that draw is the referee's incompetence is kind of why he got the draw. It was a loss, let's be honest. In the matchup, what happened was he was getting ground and pounded by his opponent. He won this round, don't get me wrong, but towards the end he was getting ground and pounded, and the referee said there was back of the head shots, but Savoie himself was like, "Oh no, it's not back of the head," and the ref still took a point. So I don't know, kind of weird. But so although it wouldn't have been a draw because his opponent clearly won rounds 2 and 3, it would have been 29-28 for his opponent, but he gets the draw. So he should probably be 10-2. Referee incompetence makes it 10-1-1. Either way, it's whatever. So 3-1-1 in the last 5, 5-0 for Smith in the last 5. We're going to start on Smith's side. Now, when we look at Jacobe Smith, he is definitely a wrestler, but the striking is so this is weird because I wrote good striking, but I only have like 2 real notes, 3-ish if you count the wrestling threat setting up the striking, because it does. But this dude's power is so devastating that it bumped it from just like decent to good, because in his last 2 fights, if you look at Tapology, it says he won by punches, which leads me to believe that he landed some shots and the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. That's not what happened. That is very misleading. He hit these guys with 1 shot and they were completely in another dimension. That is what happened when he hit these men. So the Tapology saying punches, which is typically like, what it would indicate is for like, a referee steps in and gets a TKO. This was not a TKO. These last 2 were just, he hit them, they were done. So dude's going to come forward. The wrestling threat's obviously there, and that power is ridiculous. When it gets to the wrestling, very, very good. He's solid in the wrestling department. The takedowns are there. His top pressure is good. He floats from position to position as the opponents try to change underneath him. He just floats to the next spot, and he's got ground and pound for days. The thing that is impressive to me is his cardio, because we saw it in a couple of fights where he's able just to beat on guys for 15 minutes straight and not look tired. And I don't know about you, but beating on somebody for 15 minutes is exhausting. And he just doesn't seem to mind. Just keeps on hammering away, getting takedowns, beating their face in. Now, sure, he can knock you out in the first round or the first 18 seconds, apparently, according to his last fight. But yeah, he has the cardio to go 3 rounds, no problem. He does blend his arts really well. If he starts coming in looking to strike and then he sees them shell up against the cage, he'll get the takedown. If he goes in looking for the takedown and he realizes they're quick to get their hands low, he'll come back up and start landing shots. Dude's a complete fighter, if you ask me, as far as his skill. I mean, sure, you don't see a ton of kicks from him or something like that, but like he doesn't seem to need them at this point. It's not that he couldn't add them or doesn't have them. It's just he hasn't seemed to need them. But essentially, Jacobe Smith is very good. Let's put it that way. Savoie, Christien Savoie. Interesting here because he's a decent striker. There are some things I like and some things I dislike. I should have probably written this up here, but he kind of wants to make the fight a brawl because this dude is pretty good in a brawl. I don't know that that's a good move in this fight, but he's pretty good in a brawl. He's got a very heavy 1-2 that comes from about, right here, about down kind of mid where his hands are. Just boom, boom, and then he'll let his hands fade. I don't like that his hands fade. He holds his hands kind of low, but his chin is always tucked. Like the guy, he's always got that chin down. So when he eats a shot, you don't see him just get starched because he keeps the chin tight. I don't know if that's going to work here, but I understand that that's usually what works for him. So keeps the chin tucked even though the hands are low. He's shown very good durability, but he's got a heavy 1-2 and a pretty decent leg kick. That's what he does on the feet. He comes in, heavy 1-2 and a decent leg kick. And that's his style. And it works pretty well for him. I mean, he's racked up 10 wins doing this. In the grappling department, his takedown defense is rough. You see him getting taken down quite a bit in the fights, but he has decent scrambling ability. And if he ends up on top, his ground pound's pretty good because, I mean, a guy that hits with a heavy 1-2 can probably land a heavy 1-2 on the ground, and he does. He boom, boom, big heavy shots coming from the top. So there are some things to like, but honestly, like, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't say that Jacobe Smith should run through him here. That's not to say that he couldn't get caught or something, but yeah, Jacobe Smith is the side. This dude he's very good. Let's put it that way. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this, then maybe you learned a little something. If you could hit that like button for me while you're down there, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't done it already, the playlist should be popping up on the screen. And if you would check out the other videos, I would appreciate that as well. So I'll see you there.